in that time. It's 404. 2 home runs and 17 RBI during the 19-game hitting streak. Breaking pitch low and away. Ball 2, 2-1. DH Ethan Murdoch and first baseman Gavin Panks on deck. Guaranteed to hit in this inning for the Berries. 2-1 pitch to Laird. Line drive, right center field. That is down. Will split the outfielders. Laird makes a big wide turnaround first, but the ball is cut off before it can get all the way to the fence, and they'll restrict Laird to a single, but that extends the hitting streak to 20 games right away, right out of the gate. It'll bring up Ethan Murdoch. Swift Current product, played in all 8 games during the road trip, of course. 10 for 32, 313. The season average actually drops a bit because of that. He takes a first pitch strike. For the season, Murdoch is hitting .387, among the league leaders still, but down below .400. He'll pop that one up foul. It'll get out of play on top of the building that we're housed in. 2 strikes. A little bit off to our right, more first base side than third base side as our location is. 2-strike pitch outside, 1-2. Home plate umpire, or the catcher Nate King trying to frame it for the home plate umpire Bobby Mark, who wasn't biting on that. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss on the off-speed breaking ball, foul tip, according to the home plate umpire. It's a strikeout nonetheless, and 1 away. We'll bring up Gavin Panks, who was 5 for 25 on the road trip, hit .200 with just 2 runs batted in. Gavin hoping a return home will get him going again offensively. Check on the runner at first. Panks, left-handed hitter out of Covington, Louisiana. Takes the first pitch strike. I mentioned it's a nice night in Saskatoon. 28 degrees Celsius at game time. And foul up the first baseline. Quickly, Panks behind 2 strikes in the count to Jackson Miles. 28 Celsius. That's 82 Fahrenheit. 60% humidity. The humidex is like 35 degrees right now, which would be like 95 Fahrenheit. It is hot and sticky here. High and away with ball 1 from Jackson Miles. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We have an east-southeast wind being recorded at the airport, 5 kilometers to the north of us, at 31 kilometers per hour, about 20 miles per hour. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And again, change up there. And Panks swings through it early. 2 strikeouts in a row for Jackson Miles. He's got 2 out after giving up the leadoff single to Brock Laird. So now it's Mason Rell coming to the plate, who was the hottest hitter for the Berries in the 5 games he played out of the 8 on the road. 9 for 19, a .474 average, a couple of home runs, and 11 RBI for the just completed sophomore out of Indiana State University. Right-handed hitting Mason Rell. Looks at a first pitch strike. Jackson Miles is making his 7th appearance of the season. A 1-1 record. This one's hit on the ground. And now Roth, make that the shortstop. Johnny Volcano tried to come up with it, took a bit of a high hop on him, and they're going to call that a base hit for Mason Rell. A little bit to Volcano's right, and a big high hop that he could not backhand. So with 2 away, we got 2 men on. Runners on first and second. It brings up Josh Henson, who had a 6 RBI game on the road trip. Went 9 for 29, hitting .310 on the road. Jackson Miles steps off. Miles has mentioned 1-1 record, a 3.86 earned run average coming into tonight. 21 innings pitched, 23 hits allowed coming into the game. 15 runs, 9 of them earned. Breaking ball low and away to Henson, ball 1. "15 strikeouts, 11 walks in 21 innings for Jackson Miles. Young guy out of Plano, Texas. That's in there for a strike, 1-1. Henson had a couple of home runs and 11 RBI. This one's well tagged, but it is going to hook foul down the left field side. Had the home run distance as it makes its way into Lico's field next door to us. Another baseball diamond to the north of Cairns, next gen patch at Cairns Field. 1-2 the count. Henson had 6 RBI against these Medicine Hat Mavericks back a couple of Fridays ago on Friday the 17th. That's inside, 2-2. Nathan Houston, the center fielder, is on deck for the Berries. This is Whale hit in the air to left field. Going back with room, though, is the left fielder, and making the catch is Blake Dale. So Henson put a little bit into it, but got a little bit too high into the air. And so for the Berries, in the bottom of the first inning, no runs, 2 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors and 2 runners left on base. After an inning, we are scoreless. Medicine Hat and Saskatoon as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. We're back with the top of the second inning, and first pitch swinging, Frankie Giacalone, the first baseman for Medicine Hat, flies out to right field. Good running catch in right field by the Berries right fielder tonight, Nash Nichols. It'll bring up the shortstop, Johnny Volcano, who comes into the game on a 5-game hitting streak. Takes a called strike from Diego Quinones. Volcano hitting .350 in that 5-game hitting streak, 7 for 20. Pops this one up. Foul territory, and it will be into the first base bleachers. And quickly, Quinones is ahead 2 strikes on Johnny Volcano. Johnny Volcano from Cloverdale, BC, coming off his senior year at Duane University. As a younger brother, Adam, who's a utility player, but not in the lineup tonight. Breaking ball low and away from Quinones, 1-2. That's low and away, ball 2, 2-2. Slider low and away now, full count to Johnny Volcano. So after going up 2 strikes, unable to get one in here now. The last 3 pitches for Diego Quinones. And then fouled off at the plate. Stays alive at 3-2. Quinones, the baseball nomad, as I like to call him. Just finished his senior year at Ottawa University in Surprise, Arizona, in the Great Southwest Athletic Conference. But in 5 years of college ball, he's played for 4 different colleges. 3-2 pitch and line right back at Quinones. He's able to duck out of the way, but it's into center field for a base hit, and that's now a 6-game hitting streak for Johnny Volcano, who's on first base. Second hit for the Mavericks in the early stages of the ball game. Brings up Eric Calder, the designated hitter. Comes into the game tied for 7th in the league in doubles with a dozen, hitting .286. He's 8 for his last 12, so he's on a bit of a roll in his last 3 games. A couple of home runs in that time as well. Left-handed hitter takes the ball outside, ball 1. Calder from Oakville, Ontario. Coming off his sophomore year at Tabor College. Plays first base, but he's DHing tonight. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball that dropped out of, off the table. 1-1 the count. Nate King, the catcher, on deck for Medicine Hat as Calder takes a timeout. Now back in the left-hand batter's box. This is fouled off up the first base line. 1-2 the count. Defensively for the Berries tonight. In the outfield, in right, it's Nash Nichols. Nathan Houston's in center field. Nick Stinson in left. Around the infield from left to right, Mason Rells at third base. Brock Laird at shortstop. Josh Henson's the second baseman tonight, and Gavin Panks at first. Affiliate call-up, Aiden Kilshaw is the catcher. Diego Quinones, the starting pitcher tonight for the Saskatoon Berries. We're in the top of the second inning, scoreless. A 1-2 pitch upcoming to Eric Calder. Line drive into right field. That'll get down, a base hit. Moving around second and making his way into third as Nichols picks up the ball just off the right field line. Into third is Johnny Volcano. So back-to-back base hits with one away. And it'll bring up Nate King, the catcher. King from Lindsay, Ontario. Coming off his junior year at Ashland University. 6 foot, 195-pound catcher. Comes into the game hitting .306, 30 hits and 98 at-bats. He also has 12 doubles. So like Calder, tied for 7th in that department, he takes a called strike. Left fielder Blake Dale is on deck. King has a dozen RBIs. Barry's playing at double play depth with one away and a runners on first and third. Slider low and away. Good block by Killshaw, 1-1. Aiden Killshaw, of course, an affiliate, 17 years old. Plays with the junior national team for Canada. A big-time prospect. 1-1 pitch is inside, 2-1. Diego Quinones is studying sports psychology, it says on the Barry Fun Fact. Finishing up at Ottawa University in Surprise. He's played for two different Ottawa universities as Diego Quinones. Hit in the air, center field. Nathan Houston coming on, makes the catch. Now he'll throw it on home. It's off the mark, but not coming from third is Johnny Volcano. That throw got all the way to the home plate area. It was up the third base line, but the third base coach decides to hold Johnny Volcano. That wasn't very deep to be a sacrifice fly situation. So now two away, runners on first and third, and up comes Blake Dale, the left fielder, who's actually tied for second in the league with doubles with 16. Hitting .255 is Blake Dale. Participated in the All-Star game here in Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field a couple of weekends ago. Swing and a miss at the first pitch from Quinones, strike one. Mavericks threatening. Panks holds the runner on first base and Eric Calder. Rest of the infielders playing as you would expect against a right-handed hitter like Blake Dale. Breaking pitch in there for strike two. Blake Dale can play short, third, second, but he's in left field tonight. Played shortstop during the All-Star game. Here's the two-strike pitch. It went back to the mound, gets away from the pitcher Quinones, but fielding it at second is Henson and on to first to retire the side. Quinones had to go under his glove. He slowed it up, but he was rescued there by Josh Henson as Medicine Hat doesn't score in the bottom or the top of the second inning. 2 hits, no Barry's errors, and 2 runners left on base. After an inning and a half, we're double donuts, 0-0, Saskatoon and Medicine Hat. You're watching Barry's Baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the second inning coming up here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on a lovely Monday evening. Barries will come up with their 6, 7, and 8 hitters to face Jackson Miles for the first time. Nathan Houston at center field. Aiden Killshaw, the catcher, and right fielder Nash Nichols due up here. Houston from Melville, Saskatchewan, played in 7 of the 8 games on the road trip, which again was kind of broken up. They played 2 games in Medicine Hat. Then it was the All-Star break for 2 days. Then they went on the road to the West Division as Houston looks at a pitch down low, ball 1. The The Berries 1-2 in Energy City, and he gets hit. That one stayed inside and caught him on the arm. So Nathan Houston, hit by a pitch, will take first base, and a leadoff man is on. So up comes Aiden Kilshaw, 17-year-old from Saskatoon. Plays in the junior national team. 6'2", 195-pound catcher. Bats left. Has played a few games with the Berries this year. Takes a pitch upstairs from Jackson Miles, ball 1. Kilshaw hitting .200. This one hit the opposite way into left field, a base hit. Pitch on the outside, and Kilshaw went with it. Hit it in the hole between third and short. Base hit for the Berries. Runners on first and second. Third hit already of the game for the Berries. And up comes Nash Nichols, who was in every game in the 8-game road trip. Started to say. Played 2 in Medicine Hat, the All-Star break, then 2 games they won back-to-back. Nichols, big swing and a miss, strike 1. Then they won 2 in Fort McMurray against the Giants, and then split the 2 games over the weekend in Sylvan Lake against the Gulls. Foul back onto the screen, 2 strikes. Quickly, Nash Nichols behind. Nichols, as I mentioned, 8 games played on the road trip. He went 8 for 28, so a .286 average, a couple of home runs, and 9 runs batted in. He also stole 5 bases during the 8-game series. Called strike 3. Third strikeout for Jackson Miles. First out of the inning with runners at first and second. The corners were in, expecting a bunt. As we take a look at the defense for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, in the outfield, Evan Morrison's in right field. Jalen King is in center. Blake Dale in left. Around the infield, it's Nick Hill at third base. Johnny Volcano at shortstop. Carter Roth is the second baseman. The first baseman, Frankie Giacalone. Nate King, the catcher, as Nick Stinson at the plate fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. Stinson played in 5 of the 8 games on the road. 5 for 18, a .278 average, a home run, and 5 runs batted in on the trip. Also had a double and a stolen base. Had hits in 4 of the 5 games in which he appeared. Change up outside, 1-1. You can see Miles on that changeup turns the hand over. Almost releases it with his palm inward towards him. On the inside corner for strike 2, 1-2 the count. Top of the order, Brock Laird on deck, hoping to get an opportunity. Singled his first time up. Houston at second. Kilshaw at first. Swing and a foul tip strikeout. And that's 2 away, so now it'll be Laird. As mentioned, extended his hitting streak to 20 games back in the bottom of the first inning. From Natchitoches, Louisiana, even though it's nowhere near spelt that way. But, like I say, we've got towns in Saskatchewan that are like that as well. How about Momart? Montmarte is Momart in Saskatchewan. Yes, folks in Louisiana who are tuning in, we have those as well. Strike 1, swing and a miss by Laird. Brock Laird is from Natchoches, Louisiana. That's Natchitoches. That's it. That's all you need to know now about that, because I've been schooled about that. Thank you to Gavin Panks' parents for tuning me into that. They were here before the All-Star break. Breaking ball in for strike 2. Jackson Miles has given up some hits, 3 of them. But he's also struck out 4 and is on the verge of striking out the side. 2 strikes against Brock Laird. Fastball, he lines into left center field. That'll get down and around third, and heading for home is Nathan Houston. Here's the throw into second. Roth with the ball, and he is out. Laird trying to stretch that into a double, gets thrown out, but the run counts as coming in to score Nathan Houston from second base. Kilshaw made it to third, but it is a run-scoring single for Brock Laird, and then he's thrown out at second base by the center fielder. So for the Berries, in the bottom of the second inning, they score a run on 2 hits. There were no Medicine Hat errors and 1 runner left on base. After 2 complete here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, it's the Saskatoon Berries. So the Berries are up 1-0 as we come to the top of the third inning. A base hit for Brock Laird. He drives in his 39th run of the summer. Stakes Diego Quinones to a 1-0 lead. Quinones out for the third inning. Both starting pitchers unofficially have thrown 33 pitches through 2 innings. Medicine Hat will bring up their number 9 hitter, Jalen King, to lead it off. He's the center fielder. Then back to the top of the order, Carter Roth, second baseman, and then the right fielder, Evan Morrison. Jalen King is a relative newcomer to the Medicine Hat Mavericks. He just joined the team last week and played 3 games over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He's from Spokane Valley, Washington, coming off his senior year at Mid-America Christian University. First pitch swinging, bouncing ball, Laird up with it, the throw on to first, but hustling down the line and beating the throw is Jalen King, so that's an infield single to lead off the top of the third inning. That's already the 4th hit for the Mavericks in the ball game. As we go to the top of the order, and Carter Roth, the all-star, who didn't wait, swung at the first pitch of the ball game at 7:01 and drove it into straightaway center field. Sorry, into left field, I should say, for a base hit. Right-hand hitter was the MVP of the all-star game here a couple of weekends back. There's an off-speed pitch that's in for a strike. Roth now has hits in 5 of his last 6 games with the single now in the first inning. 9 for 24 in that time. Takes a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. And glares back at the home plate umpire and says, "Really?" Roth hitting .375 in that 6-game stretch now. A home run and 4 RBIs for the season. Came into the game hitting .342 with 3 home runs and 34 runs batted, and hence he's an all-star in the league. 2-strike pitch. And that one is low. Ball 1, 1-2. Runner on first, nobody out. We are in the top of the third inning. On the ground, right side of the infield. Henson knocks it down. Throw to first. Not in time. Roth able to get down the line and beat out the throw, which was a little bit off target, but wouldn't have gotten him anyway. So King to second. Back-to-back hits in the infield for the Medicine Hat Mavericks here to lead off the top of the third inning. And it'll bring up Evan Morrison, the right fielder, who made solid contact back in the first inning, but lined it right at Brock Laird and initiated a double play as they were able to pick off Roth, who had ventured a little bit too far off first base. 2 men on, nobody out. First pitch outside to Morrison, ball 1. One 0 pitch up coming to Evan Morrison. On the ground towards Laird. He'll flip it to second for 1. Henson on to first and unable to grab it is Panks. Ball gets away from him into foul territory, and in to score on the play is Jalen King. So a fielder's choice and an RBI for Evan Morrison. It'll be his 31st run batted in. As Roth was eliminated at second base. And King able to score on what would likely be a throwing error to the second baseman, Josh Henson. And there's a breaking pitch in for a strike to Nick Hill. One the score as the Mavericks bounce back with a run in the top of the third inning after the Berries opened the scoring in the bottom of the second. Fouled off over top of the first base bleachers down the right field side. Nick Hill behind 2 strikes. One away here in the top of the third inning. Quinones set the deal to Nick King. 2-strike pitch. Slider low and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This one's lined into center field, and it'll drop in front of Nathan Houston, who will take it on a short second hop. Base hit for Hill. Morrison goes station to second base. That's 3 singles in the inning for the Mavericks. Aiden Kilshaw, the quick visit out to chat with the veteran Diego Quinones. Up comes Frankie Giacalone, the first baseman, who leads the team in home runs with 10. It's tied for 5th most in the WCBL. 36 runs batted in for Giacalone, who came into the game hitting .310, was 10 for 26 in his last 6 games. Safely hitting in 5 of the 6 games. Right-handed hitter Giacalone was first pitch swinging his first time up and flew to right field back in the second inning. He'll bounce this one foul into the third base Medicine Hat dugout, strike 1. Giacalone, 6'4", 220, out of San Diego, California, and again from Mid-America Christian University, coming off his junior year there. First and second with 1 away. Diego Quinones deals fastball in there for a strike. 2 strikes the count on Frankie Giacalone with shortstop Johnny Vulcano on deck. Mavericks can hit the ball. They have a good offensive team. Well hit in the air. This one's hooking into left center field. Will drop for a base hit. The runner at second, Evan Morrison, held up, waiting to make sure it would drop in. Will only advance to third on the play. Nick Hill up to second. So now the bases are loaded with one away. It'll bring up Johnny Volcano, who singled back in the last inning. Mavericks already have 7 hits off of Diego Quinones. This is the third time they're facing Quinones this season. Back in this ballpark on the 9th of June, Quinones picked up a win, 6-1 that night. He pours in a strike to Volcano. That night he pitched 5 2/3 innings, threw 90 pitches, allowed 5 hits, an earned run, struck out 5, walked 1. One strike pitch, fouled off, out of play. Quickly ahead, 2 strikes on Volcano. Quinones also faced the Mavericks in Medicine Hat back on the 23rd of July. Pitched 5 1/3 innings that night, allowed 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, struck out 4, walked 3. 2 strikes. On the inside corner for strike 3 called. Huge strikeout for Diego Quinones and the Berries to get a second out. Now they'll face Eric Calder, who's now up to his hitting streak to a modest 4 games, but is creeping up towards the 300 mark in terms of batting average. .37 hits and 127 at-bats for Eric Calder. First pitch, change up on the outside corner, strike 1. Calder hitting .291 right up to date. Hit up the first base line, skittering, but will go by the bag foul. And Calder's got 2 strikes on him. It's Evan Morrison at third base, Nick Hill at second, Frankie Giacalone at first. The bases are juiced against the Saskatoon Berries, trying to wriggle their way out of this in a 1-1 tie in the top of the 3rd inning. 2-strike pitch coming to Calder. High and away with a fastball, 1-2. Seventh hitter up in the inning for Medicine Hat. Quinones trying to shut it down now. 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground towards second. Henson gets a nice room service hop and throws on over to first in plenty of time to retire the side. Medicine Hat gets the tying run here in the top of the 3rd inning. They do so with 4 singles and a Berries error and leave 3 runners on base. After 2.5, it's Medicine Hat 1, Saskatoon 1. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Bottom of the third inning, Saskatoon Berries with a run in the bottom of the second. We'll try and get back on the bats against Jackson Miles. Ethan Murdoch will lead it off, followed by Gavin Panks and then Mason Rell. Murdoch, an all-star, came second in the home run derby to Energy City's David Simmons. Murdoch second in the league in home runs with 14 and second in the league in RBI with 55 behind Jake Hiramoto of the Swift Current 57s, who's broken the league record for home runs and is closing in on the record for the league in RBI. Slider in for a strike. Actually, Hiramoto's broken that record too. He's got 68 runs batted in and 21 home runs. On the outside corner again, strike two. Murdoch checking back with home plate umpire Bobby Mark saying, okay, yeah, okay. Two strike pitch is up high, 1-2. Spencer Miles with 4 strikeouts already in the ball game. Breaking ball down and away, ball 2, 2-2. The count on Ethan Murdoch. 72 hits, which is second in the league in that department. High with a fastball, and suddenly the count is full. Only Jake Hiramoto has more hits than Ethan Murdoch with 74. 3-2 pitch is fouled off onto the screen. Count holds full at 3-2. Now time is called by Murdoch just as Miles was about to go into the stretch, begin his delivery. Now we're ready to go. 3-2 pitch from Miles is outside, and for the 30th time this year, Ethan Murdoch draws a walk. He's in the top 10 in the league in that department. So a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the third inning. Brings up Gavin Panks, Barry's first baseman, who does some catching as well. Does a lot of the catching, but of recent, with having the AP player Aiden Kilshaw along with Aiden Marion, Panks hits this one in the air. It's a little looping fly ball into right center field, but coming on and making the catch is the center fielder, Jalen King, as that ball held up in the air for a long, long time, allowing Jalen King to get to it in shallow right center field. So one away. And now Mason Rell, who singled his first time up. Rell started slowly in his return to the Berries in early July, but as the month has progressed, he has come on and is now hitting .340 with that single in the first inning. Coming off his sophomore year at Indiana State, takes a called strike. 3 home runs and 17 RBI for Mason Rell out of West Bend, Wisconsin. Low and away. 1-1 the count. Breaking ball outside, 2-1. This is Rell's 14th game since rejoining the Berries for the summer. Low and away again, ball 3, 3-1. The count on Mason Rell. That's a high strike. In the zone, full count. Mentioned Rel 9 for 19 on the in the 5 games on the road he played. He's on a 5-game hitting streak now, 6 games, thanks to the single in the first inning. 10 for 20 in that time, hitting .500. Murdoch takes off, swing and a miss, strike 3. The throw on down, and Murdoch is caught stealing, and that's the end of the inning. A strike him out, throw him out, double play to finish off the top of the 3rd inning. For the Berries, no runs, no hits. There were no Mavericks that had errors, and nobody left on base. After 3 complete, it is the Saskatoon Berries 1 and the Medicine Hat Mavericks 1 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. All right, look at your unofficial line score through 3 innings of play for the Saskatoon Berries. 1 run on 4 hits. They've committed 1 error. They've left 3 runners on base. For the Medicine Hat Mavericks, 1 run on 7 hits. They have yet to commit an error, and they've left 5 runners on base. Top of the 4th inning coming your way. Leading it off for the Medicine Hat Mavericks will be the bottom 3rd of the order, catcher Nate King, and then followed by left fielder Blake Dale, center fielder Jalen King. Nate King flew out to center his first time up. First pitch on the inside corner at the knees for a strike. Change up there from Diego Quinones. That unofficially was his 55th pitch of the evening. Slider, low and away, 1-1. On the opposite side, Spencer Miles has thrown 47 pitches unofficially. Fouled off towards the third base Medicine Hat dugout by Nate King. Count now at 1-2. Bounced in, good block by Kilshaw. Not that he had to worry, but nobody on base, but 2-2 the count. Leading off here in the top of the 4th inning. 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Third strikeout of the night for Diego Quinones. Catcher Nate King probably saw that and said, you know what? He's been calling that pitch there because I've caught a couple of them like that. So the consistency is there on that high strike in the zone. So up comes Blake Dale. Grounded out off the pitcher Quinones' glove, and a good play by Josh Henson in behind him. But that pitch is driven on a line into center field, and a base hit for Blake Dale. 8th hit of the night for Medicine Hat here in the top of the 4th inning. Jalen King, who led off the third inning, singled and scored the Medicine Hat run so far, takes a strike. This one's lined into right field, down for a base hit. Nash Nichols up with the ball and gets it back into the infield. Holding up at second base is Blake Dale. And so now runners on first and second with one away. And back to the top of the order for Carter Roth, who's up for a third time. So turn the order over for Medicine Hat. Already a third time around here in the fourth inning. Roth has singles in each of his first two plate appearances. On the ground into the hole at short. Diving play by Laird. He's got no play at first base. It's an infield single, but may have saved a run by doing so. As Dale advances to third. And Jalen King, I should say, to second. And that's 10 hits now for Medicine Hat. And Evan Morrison, who reached on a fielder's choice his last time up, lined into a double play back in the first inning. 0 for 2 officially. Fastball strike from Quinones. Morrison fielder's choice had the throw to first that didn't get him at first. As there's a strike. Ended up getting away from Gavin Panks into foul territory past first base and scoring on the play. As here comes the 0-2 pitch on it to Evan Morrison. Bounced in, gets away from Kilshaw, and will go out of play through the gate, and a run will score. And Medicine Hat takes the lead on the wild pitch. Jalen King advances to third, Carter Roth to second. 1-2 the count to Evan Morrison. And a ball and 2 strikes. The count to Morrison as Medicine Hat goes up 2-1. Quinones 1-2 pitches inside, 2-2 to Evan Morrison. Morrison in his last 4 games had been 6 for 17 with a couple of home runs and 5 runs batted in. Barry's prepared to concede a run as they're not playing on the infield grass with runners on second and third. Now a full count after being up 0-2. Evan Morrison has fought back to get the full with Nick Hill, the third baseman, on deck. Three-two pitch. And outside ball 4, that'll load the bases. There's no action in the Barry's bullpen, so Quinones has to try and get out of this himself, although here comes pitching consultant Dustin Mullican to the mound to visit with the veteran Diego Quinones, who started his college career with Luna Community College in Las Vegas, New Mexico. His third year of college was at Ottawa University in Ottawa, Kansas. Year 4 spent with Weber International University in Babson Park, Florida, and then his 5th season with the Ottawa University Spirit in Surprise, Arizona. Quick visit. 1 away. Bases loaded again, just as they were last inning. Quinones, again, trying to squirm out of it with limited damage. Could use another strikeout is what he could use. But now we see movement heading down towards the right field Barry's bullpen. First pitch strike thrown to Nick Hill. Singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2, hitting .250 on the year. 6 home runs and 14 runs batted in. Now time is called as the shadows start to creep from in behind home plate and outwards towards the outfield. Just about the entire infield covered in shadow now. Line drive into right field. That'll get down as it's slicing towards the line. Base hit. 1 run's in. Here comes a second run in to score. Nash Nichols gets the ball back into the infield. And all the way around to third base is Evan Morrison. It's a 2 RBI single for Nick Hill that makes the score 4-1 now for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Hill with a couple of RBIs gets him to 16 on the year. Dallin Rude starts to hastily warm up down the right field line for the Berries. As cleanup man Frankie Giacalone onto the plate. A check on the runner Nick Hill at first. Giacalone singled last time up. That was with runners on first and second. Breaking ball down low, 1-0. Once again, this is a 7 at-bat or 7-hitter inning for Medicine Hat. Only 1 out. Slider down and away, ball 2. th pitch unofficially of the inning upcoming for Quinones. 74th coming up overall. Swing and foul off at the plate. Giacalone with a big swing and didn't get it. Didn't square it up. 2-1. 3 runs in for Medicine Hat here in the top of the 4th inning as they've taken a 4-1 lead. They need wins if they want to get into the postseason. Currently out of the playoffs in the East Division, sitting in 5th. 2-1 pitch on the inside corner, strike 2. Two and 2 with 1 away here in the top of the 4th. Johnny Volcano, the shortstop, is on deck. The 2-2 from Quinones, hit in the air, straight away center field. Houston going back, makes the catch. And trotting home from third after tagging up to make it 5-1 is Evan Morrison. So that'll be a sacrifice fly for Frankie Giacalone to make the second out of the inning. And for Giacalone, his 37th run batted in. So now Johnny Volcano singled in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 3rd. Dallin Rude says he's ready to go as they've stopped throwing down the right field side. Breaking pitch in for a strike. Eric Aguirre's got the mask and pads and catcher's glove on. Down the right field bullpen. Outside with the slider, 1-1. Dwyer plays outfield. He DHs, does some pitching. He also does some bullpen catcher work, does the product of Pasadena, Texas. Here's the 1-1. Hit on the ground. Nice hop for Laird, and the easy throw to second for the Force to finish off the inning. But the Medicine Hat Mavericks score 4 times in the top of the 4th inning, and they do so with 4 hits. There were no Barry's errors, and there was 1 runner left on base. After 3.5, Medicine Hat 5, Saskatoon 1. You're watching Barry's Baseball on FloCollege.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
Bottom of the 4th inning, Barry's down by 4 now, 5-1. We'll get another look at Jackson Miles, the starting pitcher tonight for the Medicine Hat Mavericks out of Plano, Texas, coming off his freshman year at Dallas Eastfield Community College. He'll face Josh Henson, the second baseman, center fielder Nathan Houston, and catcher Aiden Kilshaw here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Henson flew out to left his first time up. Hits this first pitch on the ground. Big hop on Johnny Volcano, the shortstop. The throw on to first is not in time. So Henson will reach on an error to the shortstop, Johnny Volcano. It's the first error of the night for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. The Berries will take it. They'll get the leadoff man on, try and get the score a little closer than what it's been. Nathan Houston now to the plate. He was hit by a pitch and scored the Berries' only run back in the 2nd inning. Melville born, raised in Regina, went to Martin Collegiate in Regina. Takes a pitch inside for a ball. Nathan Houston hit .379 on the road trip. That's inside, 2-0. 11 for 29 with 11 runs batted in. He also had 6 stolen bases. Houston played in 7 games on the road trip and he had a hit in every one of them. Takes a strike on the inside corner, 2-1. Henson at first. That's a strike high in the zone, 2-2. And the umpire is behind home plate, letting the home plate umpire know they don't agree with his strike zone. But that has been called consistently tonight, that pitch high in the strike zone. Henson takes off. Inside pitch, the throw down to second will get away from the second baseman Roth, but be backed up by the shortstop. So Henson steals a base. He's on second with his 5th stolen base of the year. And now the count full on Nathan Houston at 3-2. Mentioned Houston had 6 stolen bases on the road trip. He's 10th in the league in steals, but he draws a walk. So the first 2 men are on here in the bottom of the fourth inning for the Berries, and it'll bring up Aiden Kilshaw, who stroked a single to left his first time up back in the second inning. Kilshaw, a left-handed hitter, facing Miles. First pitch swinging, that's into left center field, coming on, making the catch, and now the throw into second, but not in time. Henson was almost halfway to third base, but a good play by Blake Dale, the left fielder, to make the catch in left center and force Henson to go scrambling back to second base to avoid being doubled up. So now Nash Nichols, who struck out his first time up in the second inning. Takes a strike. Nichols hitting .230 on the year, 29 hits and 126 at-bats. Has 9 home runs. .30 runs batted in. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. Nick Stinson on deck. Barry's left fielder. Jackson Miles. Let the first two guys get on base. Hit high in the air, popped up in the infield. Infield fly has been called, and catching it in shallow left field is the shortstop, Johnny Volcano, for the second out. So now Stinson, who also struck out in the second inning against Jackson Miles, gets another opportunity. Bunch of Berries people milling about down the right field side near the bullpen area. I believe we'll get a pitching change going into the fifth inning here. Quinones unofficially with 79 pitches through 4 innings and roughed up a bit. Big swing and a miss on a breaking ball from Stinson, strike 1. "11 hits for Medicine Hat in the ball game. 4 in each of the last 2 innings, 11 in total. And 5 runs. Outside, 1-1. Stinson has 9 doubles. From Kennesaw, Georgia. This one's hit on the ground, and it got through into left field, a base hit. Rounding third and heading for home is Josh Henson. Into third base is Nathan Houston as the ball's returned to the infield, and the Berries get a second run on their 5th hit of the ball game. Runners at first and third, still with 2 away for Nick Stinson, RBI number 26 of the year. 2 away and back to the top of the order for Brock Laird, who's 2 for 2 tonight. Was thrown out trying to stretch his single in the second inning that drove in the Berries' first run into a double. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike to Brock Laird, whose average just continues to climb for the season, thanks to that 20-game hitting streak he's on. Stinson's on his way to second and will not draw a throw. Nate King thought about it, but now runners on second and third, as that pitch to Laird was a ball, 1-1. Low and away with a pitch. Nate King makes sure it doesn't get away. 2-1 the count on Brock Laird. That hitting streak is done for Brock Laird. Has jumped his batting average for the season up to .342. Up to date. And that hits him inside. Brock Laird gets plunked on that. That's the 14th time that Brock Laird has been hit by a pitch this summer. They'll load the bases up for Ethan Murdoch. And we're going to get a visit to the pitcher. So with the dangerous Ethan Murdoch coming to the plate, out comes the pitching coach for the Medicine Hat Mavericks to chat. And now out comes the home plate umpire, Bobby Mark, to break it up. Andrew Bench is the pitching coach for Medicine Hat. He has had his say. He has had his chance to chat with Jackson Miles. He'll go back to work. There's a pitch in for a strike to Murdoch. One strike. Fans haven't figured out that that's been a strike all night long. One strike pitch is low, 1-1. Base is juiced for the Berries here with 2 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Murdoch fouls that up off the third base side and is now behind 1-2. Murdoch had 4 home runs on the road trip with 11 runs batted in. They could use some of that power and run production right now. Although there's a lot of game left to go. 1-2 pitch coming up from Jackson Miles. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 6 on the night for Jackson Miles. The Berries get a run in the bottom of the 4th inning. On 1 hit, there was 1 Medicine Hat error and 3 runners left on base. After 4, Mavericks 5, Berries 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus a WCBL report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
Diego Quinona is back out on the mound for the Saskatoon Berries in the top of the 5th inning. Berries starter tonight will face hitters 6, 7, and 8 on the Medicine Hat lineup. Eric Calder, the DH, Nate King, the catcher, Blake Dale, the left fielder. Infield is totally in the shadows now as we are nearing 8:30 on a Monday evening in Saskatoon. Still mainly sunny conditions in Saskatoon with a temperature of 26 degrees Celsius, 79 Fahrenheit. Humidex value still at 33 Celsius, which is 91 Fahrenheit. East-southeast wind 23 kilometers per hour. That wind east-southeast blows from right field foul pole to left field foul pole, so left-handed hitters have a bit of an advantage. A lefty like Eric Calder coming to the plate to start things off against Quinones really doesn't have it, but it's his third appearance of the night. Takes a pitch up and away, ball one. Calder 1 for 2. Singled in the second inning, grounded out in the third. Popped up in the air, in behind second base. Brock Laird calls for it, makes the catch, and there's one away. It'll bring up Nate King, one of the few Mavericks who does not have a hit as of yet, 0 for 2. In fact, both he and Evan Morrison, the number 2 hitter, have yet to collect a hit tonight. Everybody else in the starting 9 for Medicine Hat has made a base hit. Strike called on Nate King. Down low, 1-1. Mentioned Nate King is from Lindsay, Ontario. Check swing, and it didn't hold up. It went far enough to be called strike 2, 1-2. Left fielder Blake Dale is on deck. Slider low and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. King flew out to center in the second inning, struck out to lead off what turned out to be a very good fourth inning for Medicine Hat as they scored 4 times, lead at 5-2. Hacked into the ground, taken in the hole at short by Laird. The throw to first, and Panks with the stretch, able to catch the ball on the short hop for the second out. So now it's Blake Dale. Left fielder singled and scored as part of the fourth inning. The 4-run fourth for Medicine Hat. Swing and a miss on the first pitch, strike 1. Quinones trying to finish with a flourish. And officially at 86 pitches. There's a fastball for strike 2. Quinones with 3 strikeouts in the ball game. Wildness has not been a problem. 2 strikes, and it's called strike 3. 5 in a row set down by Diego Quinones, including a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 5th inning. His 4th strikeout of the ball game. Nothing across in the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits. No Barry's errors, nobody left on base. Halfway through, 4.5 innings in the books. It is Medicine Hat 5, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Barry's Baseball on FloCollege.
For over a century, we've been more than just lawyers. We're your neighbors, your friends, and your strongest advocates. With 15 locations across the prairies, we're everywhere you are. Stringham, your local lawyers.
Back out for the bottom of the 5th inning to pitch for the Medicine Hat Mavericks is Jackson Miles. Unofficially at 69 pitches for the night. No action down the left field line in the Mavericks bullpen. So Jackson Miles will face the meat of the order for the Berries here in the bottom of the 5th. It'll be first baseman Gavin Panks, third baseman Mason Rell, and second baseman Josh Henson. Left-hand hitting Panks. 0 for 2 so far this evening. Takes the first pitch high and away, ball 1. Panks struck out in the first, flew out to center in the 3rd inning. Hits one on the ground towards first, fielded behind the bag by Frankie Giacalone. He'll touch the bag himself for the first out. Sounded like Panks broke his bat on that contact. Mason Rell now singled in the first, struck out in the 3rd. When he struck out in the 3rd, that got Ethan Murdoch thrown out for a strike him out, throw him out double play to end the 3rd inning. First pitch outside to Rell, ball 1. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-1. Rell was geared up for something with a little more velocity, and that didn't have it. Took it and takes the strike. There's a fastball that's outside, 2-1. Berries have 5 hits. But Jackson Miles has done a good job. He has 6 strikeouts so far. That one gets away from the catcher to the backstop, but nobody's on base. 3 balls and a strike now on Mason Rell. Here's the 3-1, and line down the left field line, but it'll hook foul and get over to where all the dogs are. It's Bark in the Park night tonight. This game was originally supposed to have been played June 10th, rescheduled to tonight. It was supposed to be Bark in the Park night back on June 10th. It is that way tonight, as we've got a full count here on Mason Rell. And that is outside, ball 4. A walk issued. So while Jackson Miles has struck out 6, he's also walked 3 and hit a batter. It'll bring to the plate Josh Henson, who scored last inning, reaching on an error, stole a base, and came around on Nick Stinson's single. Henson 0 for 2 officially in the ball game, takes a strike. Foul back to the screen, and Miles ahead 2 strikes now on Josh Henson. So Bark in the Park night means that there's a lot of fans brought some dogs. Well, not a lot of fans, but quite a few fans brought dogs, and they've been sent down the left field line towards the home run fence, as that's down low 1-2 on a breaking ball. Change up type pitch from Jackson Miles. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nathan Houston, the center fielder, on deck, hoping to get an at-bat. One, 2, breaking ball outside. 2-2 the count. That was also supposed to have been a Wednesday back on June the 10th. So even though it's a Monday, it's also Wiener Wednesday, so there's $2 hot dogs for folks in the ballpark. Fouled out of play. Count holds at 2-2 to Josh Henson. From Huntsville, Alabama. Coming off his freshman year at Southeastern Louisiana University. There's a check on the runner at first, Mason Rell, who's back safely. Rell does have a stolen base, to his credit so far. Henson now with a line drive down the left field line, but that is going to hook foul. Well tagged, but it hooked. Foul down the left field line. Count holds at 2-2. Seventh pitch of the plate appearance upcoming for Josh Henson against Jackson Miles, who's starting to see that pitch count go up significantly here. Unofficially at 83 for the game here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Swing and a foul tip, and is not held by Nate King, and it takes a bite out of him. Nate King threw the ball away from Pat Janix, who was bringing out baseballs for home plate umpire Bobby Mark. Some early movement down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen. But nobody throwing as of yet, just somebody stretching and doing some early warm-up. Now taking off, and here's a big line drive center field. Looking around for it, that ball got caught up in the wind. Good catch, and now the big throw all the way to first base, but not in time. Rell able to get back. He had second base stolen easily, but Henson swung and hit a line drive into straightaway center field that the center fielder on the play, Jalen King, was able to make the catch on. He lost that initially and was able to recover and make the catch for the second out. Rell safely back to first. Now it's Nathan Houston. I expect Rell to take off early in this count, but not there, as Houston with a swing and a miss on a breaking ball, strike one. Houston's been on base twice, hit by a pitch and scored in the second inning, walked in the fourth inning. Third plate appearance here of the night. This one's lined into left field. Will get down for a base hit. Advancing to second is Mason Rell, as Nathan Houston improves his hitting streak to 8 games. Aiden Kilshaw now the catcher coming up. First and second. Kilshaw's 1 for 2, singled in the second inning, flew out to left last inning. Jackson Miles' first pitch fastball is on the outside corner for a strike. Kilshaw now 4 for 12 in his last 4 games, including tonight. This one's hit in the air, right center field, but moving over is the center fielder, Jaden King, to make the catch short of the warning track to end the inning. For the Berries in the bottom of the fifth inning, no runs, 1 hit. There were no Medicine Hat errors. 2 runners left on base. After 5, it is Medicine Hat 5, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Top of the 6th inning. Diego Quinones comes out again to pitch for the Saskatoon Berries. Both he and Jackson Miles have thrown 89 pitches unofficially through 5 innings. They had a canine hot dog eating contest just now in between innings. One of the pups wanted to just play with the wiener. That was it, like a stick, yeah, essentially. The other one gobbled it down just like that. So Quinones will face Jalen King, the center fielder, who's had a good night. 2 for 2, couple of singles, couple of runs scored. Solid defensively in center field for Ryan Reed, the head coach of the Mavericks. Be a bit of a short leash now, I'm sure, for Quinones, who's retired the last 5 batters he's faced. And another base hit into right field for Jalen King. He is 3 for 3 tonight. All singles. Hit number 12 of the night for Medicine Hat. And Joe Carnahan, I think, checking to make sure Dallin Root is ready to go, and we're going to get a pitching change now. So we'll get a pitching change here as Dallin Rood will make his way in from the right field bullpen. Diego Quinones will go 5+ tonight. Throw 90 pitches right on the dot unofficially. Gives up 12 hits. He is responsible for Jalen King on first base. He will not get to face the lineup for Medicine Hat for the 4th time this evening. For Diego Quinones, as mentioned, 12 hits allowed so far tonight. The run total has not yet been fully determined, but he had 4 strikeouts, walked 1, faced 27 batters, and unofficially threw 90 pitches. So now it'll be Dallin Rood coming into the ball game. Second pitcher of the night for Joe Carnahan and the Saskatoon Berries. For Rood, this will be, he has a lot of appearances this season. Let's see here. Start scrolling down. 3, 6. See, we don't get the actual appearances show up in the stat line, so we got to count them up on the individuals. This will be his 19th appearance of the season. Dallin Rood has pitched 20 2/3 innings, has no record, no wins, no losses, 2 saves, a 3.48 earned run average, has allowed 18 hits in 20 2/3 innings, 11 runs, 8 of them earned, has struck out 19 and walked just 2. First pitch inside to Carter Roth, who's into the ball game. Roth is a perfect 3 for 3 on the night with 3 singles, a run scored. And outside ball 2, 2-0. Pitch to Roth is called strike, 2-1. Root throws a fastball between 84 and 86 miles an hour, has a changeup and a curveball. 2-1 pitch, called strike, heading to second, and sliding too far and being tagged out is Jalen King. He had the bag stolen but did not keep contact with second base and was tagged out by Josh Henson, covering on the play. So now a 2-2 count on Carter Roth. A caught stealing. And King eliminated on that caught stealing. Aiden Killshot to Josh Henson. 2-2 pitch to Roth. Swing and a miss on the curveball. Strike 3. So quickly there's 2 away here now for the Medicine Hat Tigers or Medicine Hat Mavericks, I should say. There's a Freudian slip for you now. Tigers, yes, Western Hockey League. I've called enough of their games against the Saskatoon Blades over the course of my years. Mavericks and Berries this time. Fouled off. First pitch by Evan Morrison, strike 1. Morrison 0 for 2, walked and scored in the 4th inning. Morrison, a Medicine Hat boy, coming off his junior year at Hastings College. 6'3", 210-pounder. Takes a called strike on the outside corner from Dallin Rood. 0-2 the count. Morrison's in right field tonight. He plays first and third as well. Called strike 3 at the knees. Morrison doesn't like the call as Rood comes on, strikes out a pair and gets some help with the throw out on this caught stealing, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no Berries errors, nobody left on base. After 5.5, Medicine Hat 5, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Jackson Miles again out for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Tonight's starting pitcher has gone through 5 innings, has a 5-2 lead. He's in line for the pitching victory as he has a 1-1 record. Diego Quinones, his line is over and done with. He's allowed 5 runs tonight. And of those 5 runs, 4 of them are earned in 5+ innings. Nash Nichols to lead it off for the Berries. 0 for 2 tonight so far against Jackson Miles. Drops a bunt down up the third baseline and unable to come up with it. Charging in is the third baseman, Nick Hill. And they're going to call that an error on the third baseman. It was bunted hard, and if Hill fields it cleanly, there's probably a pretty good chance he could throw Nichols out. So that's the second error of the night on Medicine Hat, as we now start to see action down the left field line in the bullpen for the Mavericks. Try and catch a number. There's a pitch on the outside corner to Nick Stinson, strike 1. Stinson singled and drove in the Berries' second run back in the 4th inning. They have a right-hander throwing down the left field line. Try and catch a number. Off-speed pitch. Ball 1, 1-1. Trevor Sire apparently warming up down the left field line. Swing and a miss by Stinson. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nichols takes off, and Stinson fouls the ball back. Stays alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stinson drove in his 26th run of the season, of the summer, back in the 4th inning. Also stole a base in that at-bat. Outside, 2-2. Good eye there, as that was close. (5-2). Medicine Hat with the lead. Nichols goes again. Pitch high. Here's the throw down to second, and he's out. Good pick by the shortstop Volcano on the bounce, and was able to put the tag on Nichols, who doesn't agree with the call from the third base umpire Mark Clark. Full count now on Nick Stinson. That's outside, and he'll get a draw walk. 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And back to the top of the order for Brock Laird, who's 2 for 2 and hit by a pitch his last time up. Laird hits this one in the air, straight away center field. Jalen King has a beat on it. Didn't hardly have to move, makes the catch for the second out, and it'll bring up Ethan Murdoch, who struck out his last time up with the bases loaded back in the 4th inning. Couple of strikeouts and a walk for the Berries' number 2 hitter in the lineup. He's also caught stealing back in the 3rd inning as well after drawing the walk. Got Nick Stinson at first. Murdoch, big swing and cued it foul. Strike 1. Now catcher Nate King will go out and have a quick chat with Jackson Miles. While the action down the left field line in the bullpen for Medicine Hat continues. Right field side for the Berries is all quiet. Dallin Rood will likely come back out for the top of the 7th inning. That's outside, ball 1, 1-1. Breaking pitch is in there for strike 2, 1-2. Murdoch gearing up for something with some velocity on it. Didn't like that one, and it found its way across the plate. 2-2 the count, and a throw down, and Stinson has a stolen base. As Nick Stinson has a couple of steals on the night. 9 on the season now for him. Been caught twice. 2-2 the count, 2 outs. That top line on the scoreboard. Deuce is wild. This one's down low, blocked by Nate King. Full count to Murdoch. Gavin Panks on deck. Barry's first baseman. 4th time through the order for the Saskatoon hitters now as well. This one's on the ground on the right-hand side. Picked there at second, and the throw on to first in time. Good play by the second baseman Carter Roth to retire Ethan Murdoch, and the Berries don't score a run in the bottom of the 6th. No hits. There was 1 Medicine Hat error and 1 runner left on base. After 6, Medicine Hat 5, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege.
For more than 25 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Access Storage. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca.
Heading for the top of the 7th inning as we take a look at the line score unofficially through 6 for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. 5 runs on 12 hits. They've committed 2 errors. They've left 6 runners on base. For the Saskatoon Berries through 6 innings of play, 2 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 1 error, and they've left 9 runners on base. Dallin Rood back out for the top of the 7th inning. Jackson Miles completes 6 innings with 103 pitches thrown. See if the bullpen will be brought into play here for Medicine Hat. Dallin Rood is the second pitcher out for the Berries. Nick Hill takes ball 1. Breaking ball down low from Rood, who likes to throw that curve. Throws another one, and it's low and away, ball 2. Hit on the ground. Brock Laird up with it at short. Long throw to first in time. 1 away. Hill now 2 for 4 on the night with 2 RBI. They bring up Frankie Giacalone, who had a sacrifice fly RBI last time up. Officially 1 for 2 on the night. Singled in the 3rd inning. Medicine Hat with a run in the 3rd and 4 in the 4th. Berries with singles in the 2nd and 4th innings tonight. Rood's fastball, first pitch to Giacalone, low and away, ball 1. Pitch for fastball strike, high in the zone, 1-1. Again, Rood is from Munster, Saskatchewan. Coming off his sophomore year at Colby Community College in Kansas. Fastball low and inside, 2-1. Munster is about an hour and a half east of Saskatoon. And there are 3 Berries pitchers who are from Munster. Dallin Rood, Adam Cordy. This one's hit well, right center field, and it can look up, and that one is gone. Frankie Giacalone with his 11th home run of the summer. Solo shot makes it 6-2. Second RBI of the game for Giacalone as he takes Dallin Rood yard here in the top of the 7th. Shortstop Johnny Volcano coming to the plate now. That one's well tagged by Giacalone, well over the fence in right center field, probably in the 400-foot range. As both the outfielders, Nash Nichols in right and Nathan Houston in center, gave up on that one pretty early. 1 strike and now a ball, 1-1. The count on Johnny Volcano, who's 1 for 3. Singled in the 2nd inning, struck out in the 3rd, grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th. Line drive, and Josh Henson climbs the ladder and makes the catch out at second base for the 2nd out. They'll bring up the DH, Eric Calder. He's 1 for 3, singled in the 2nd inning, grounded out in the 3rd, popped out to lead off the 5th inning. 6-2 Medicine Hat with the lead. Pitch in for a strike. That looked like a changeup to Calder. This one hit into left field. Tracking back, Nick Stinson over towards the left field foul line will make the catch. End of the inning. But the solo home run by Giacalone improves the Medicine Hat lead to 6-2. No runners left on base in the top of the 7th inning, and after 6.5 as we head to the 7th inning stretch, Medicine Hat Mavericks 6, Saskatoon Berries 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. We have a pitching change for the Medicine Hat Mavericks here coming into the bottom of the 7th inning. Coming on is Trevor Sire. There he is. I see him on the roster sheet now. $2,047 the attendance tonight here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. All right, let's tell you more about Trevor Sire. 6'1", 210-pound right-hander out of Petrolia, Ontario, coming off his sophomore year at Kankakee Community College. Sire will face the meat of the Berries order, 3, 4, and 5 hitters. Gavin Panks, Mason Rell, and Josh Henson. Has a 4-run lead, does Sire. Panks 0 for 3 on the night. First pitch hits him in the foot. And we'll have a runner on first base to lead off. So it'll bring up Mason Rell, who's 1 for 2, walked his last time up. Trevor Sire has 2 losses in his record so far this season, a 7.79 earned run average. The second pitch he throws is up high to Mason Rell, ball 1. He hit Gavin Panks with his first one. Fastball in for a strike, 1-1. Pretty good 6 innings of work, though, for Jackson Miles tonight. Gave up 6 hits, 2 runs. Rell fouls this one into the batting cage down the right field line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Unofficially threw 103 pitches, did Jackson Miles. 2 runs, 1 earned. Swing and a miss on a change-up breaking ball. Rell strikes out, 1 away. It'll bring up second baseman Josh Henson, who's 0 for 3 but has scored a run after reaching on an error and stealing a base. Henson capable of going deep as he has 9 home runs. Tied for 7th in the league in that department. Also tied for 4th in RBI. Takes a strike though. First pitch from Sire. Twelfth time that Sire has pitched this year. Second time against the Berries. That pitch up high, 1-1 the count. Sire pitched a third of an inning against Saskatoon back on the 16th of July in Medicine Hat. Threw 2 pitches and got the out that he was required to get. Pitch up high again to Henson is 2 balls and 1 strike. Overall on the year, Sire 17 2/3 innings coming into today. Henson hits this one in the air, straight away in center field, though. Back is Jalen King at the edge of the warning track to make the catch, and hustling back to first base is Gavin Panks, as that's now 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Henson's hit 3 fly ball outs and hit them pretty well, but can't get him out of the ballpark, hitting him to the deeper part of the park. So now up comes Nathan Houston, who's 1 for 1. Singled his last time up. Has walked and been hit by a pitch as well this evening. Fouls the first pitch wide of third base. Strike 1. So Sire with 17 2/3 innings pitched has allowed 16 hits, 16 runs, 15 of them earned, struck out 13 and walked 16. So is prone to some wildness. But he gets a strike 2 in on a breaking pitch, and he's way ahead of Nathan Houston. We got more action down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen. Two-strike pitch. Houston check swing. Bounced. Nate King scrambles to get the ball, but not moving from first is Gavin Panks. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aiden Kilshaw, the catcher, on deck. He's got the shin guard still on. Won't take him off unless he's absolutely coming to the plate. One and two the count on Nathan Houston. Played as a affiliate with Moose Jaw, played a year with Moose Jaw. He fouls that one wide of third. Count holds at 1 and 2. Now into his second year with the Saskatoon Berries is Nathan Houston. Coming off his junior year at Louisiana Tech University. So now the deuces are wild on the scoreboard in right center field as we have a 2 ball, 2 strike count on Houston with 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Up high, full count. Well, the action down the left field line in the bullpen is stopped. Panks takes off, pitches low in the dirt, ball 4. 2 men on with 2 away. And Aiden Kilshaw coming to the plate. Well, now they've got that pitcher down the left field line back up and waiting to see whether he should be throwing some more. Trevor Sire trying to get out of the bottom of the 7th here with 2 away, facing the catcher Aiden Kilshaw, who's 1 for 3 tonight. On the outside corner, strike 1. Swing and a miss by Kilshaw, 2 strikes. Runner at second, Gavin Panks. Nathan Houston, runner at first. 2-strike pitch. Bounced in, blocked by Nate King, the catcher, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's up high. And again, the Deuces are wild on the scoreboard in right center field. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. 2 men on as well for the Berries, trying to mount a comeback from 4 down. It's 6-2 Medicine Hat. Line drive center field. That'll get down, base hit. Jalen King up with the ball. They'll hold Panks at third, and the bases are loaded now as the Berries have their 7th hit tonight of the game. And up comes Nash Nichols. Nichols 0 for 3, reached on an error his last time up. Again, he has home run power, has 9 of them on the year. And now showing the umpire that he's going to pitch out of the full windup. Nichols hits it high in the air. Left center field. Does it have enough to go? No. Jalen King on the edge of the warning track makes the catch to end the inning. 3 men left on base by the Berries in the bottom of the 7th inning. They had 1 hit. There were no Medicine Hat errors. And after 7 complete, it is the Medicine Hat Mavericks 6 and the Saskatoon Berries 2 as you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Dallin Rood back out for the Saskatoon Berries to pitch here in the top of the 8th inning. He'll face the bottom third of the Mavericks order. Nate King, Blake Dale, and Jalen King, all of whom have not yet faced Dallin Rood. As he's going through the order the first time. No action in the bullpen down the right field side for the Berries. And people are back up again down the left field side for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. It looks like number 9 because 8 is out. So Miguel De Jesus has been warming up a couple of times down the left field line for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Nate King coming up for the Mavericks to face Dallin Rood here to start off the 8th inning. The first pitch curveball in for a strike. Rood works quickly. Curveball stays inside, almost hit Nate King. He's able to turn out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike. Line drive into left field. Stinson coming on, and he gets it. Picks it off the grass. Backhanded and was able to come up with the ball for the first out. Blake Dale now coming up. Dale 1 for 3 with a run scored tonight. Medicine Hat left fielder. And a first pitch strike with the changeup. Rude quickly working. Breaking pitch catches the inside corner. Strike 2. We're at that point, are we? 6 strikeouts by Barrie's pitchers so far in the game as Blake Dale stays alive fouling a pitch off. 7th strikeout means everybody in the crowd, 2,047, has a chance to possibly get a side order of blueberry or Saskatoon berry pancakes at a local establishment. 2-strike pitch is up high, 1-2. Fans wanted that high fastball called strike 3. 1-2 pitch. Fan fouled off out of play. Ooh, there's a cool moon down right field in foul territory, way out beyond the ballpark. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip caught by Aiden Kilshaw. That's 3 strikeouts for Dallin Rude in his appearance, and 7 on the night for Barrie's pitchers. 2 out, most importantly, and Jalen King, the center fielder, who was a perfect 3 for 3, and he's the last guy in the Medicine Hat order to face Dallin Rude tonight. All 3 of his hits against the Barrie's starter, as Rude with a curveball in for a strike. All of Jalen King's singles tonight have been against the starter, Diego Quinones. Rude with a couple of shakeoffs. Throws another curveball in for strike 2. 0-2 the count. Now Jalen King calls time, says, whoa, wait a minute. This guy works fast, and he seems to know what I can be had with. Let's take a moment here. Fouls a pitch off. Count holds at 2 strikes. Rude kicks and fires. And again, foul back to the screen by Jalen King to stay alive at 2 strikes. Put on the ground up the middle, taken by Laird. The throw on to first in time, and a 3-up, 3-down inning. No runs, no hits, no Barrie's errors, no runners left on base. After 7.5, Medicine Hat 6, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Barrie's baseball on FloCollege. New pitcher into the ball game for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, 3rd of the night for Ryan Reed, the head coach, and his team. It'll be Miguel De Jesus coming on. De Jesus, 6'1", 180-pound right-hander from Saulnieville, Nova Scotia. Coming off his sophomore year at Southwestern Christian University. right-hander. Will be making his 13th appearance of the season. His second against the Berries back on the 23rd of June against Saskatoon. He pitched an inning in the third in Medicine Hat. Gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. Struck out 2. Overall, DeJesus, in 12 appearances, has a loss and an earned run average of 9.82. 14 2/3 innings pitched, 24 hits allowed, 17 runs, 16 of them earned, 13 strikeouts, and 5 walks. Nick Stinson, first pitch swinging a ground ball, fielded by the first baseman, and the toss over to DeJesus covering is in time to retire Stinson. Good job there by the first baseman, Giacalone, to make the play, even though they almost overran that to his right. Ball came back to his left, and he was able to field it. So now Brock Laird to the plate. Laird 2 for 3, flew out to center his last time up. Has been on base 3 times for the Berries, who are 2 for 12 tonight with runners in scoring position. First pitch up high, over top of the head as Laird had to duck, ball 1. One 0 pitch coming to Laird. Outside, 2-0. Two-0 pitch coming. Laird swings and misses. He actually fouls it off at the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two 1 to Laird. Fouled off, out of play. 2-2. Laird in the air to right field. There, and coming in a few steps to make the catch, is the right fielder, Evan Morrison. And now 2 away for the Berries in the bottom of the 8th as they're starting to quickly run out of outs to work with. Ethan Murdoch up now, 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. Caught stealing after that walk. Right-handed hitting DH tonight. DeJesus' first pitch is inside, ball 1. Game 1 of 3 in a row between these teams. They'll also play tomorrow night and Wednesday night here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Change up down low, 2-0 to Murdoch. On the ground, right at the shortstop, Volcano. Backhands and throws on to first in plenty of time. And a 3 up, 3 down Berries, bottom of the 8th inning. As they trail 6-2 after 8 complete. No runs, no hits, no Medicine Hat errors, nobody left on base. After 8, Medicine Hat 6, Saskatoon 2. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Top of the ninth inning. Medicine Hat up to bat with a 4-run lead, 6-2. Top of the order to face Dallin Rood. Second time around for second baseman Carter Roth, who struck out against Rood. Roth with a little looping liner that'll be caught in foul territory. 1 pitch, 1 out for Dallin Rood here in the top of the ninth inning. Roth 3 for 5 now in the game. Evan Morrison now 0 for 3 officially. Walked and scored a run back in the 4th inning. The 4-run 4th. That's the decisive inning so far in this game. A curveball in for a strike. Joe Carnahan telling me before the game that, as there's a swing and a miss strike too, that the rain delay in Energy City the one night, or in Fort McMurray I should say the one night, caused some havoc for his pitching on the road trip. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and foul back to the screen, staying alive at 1-2. So the bullpen got more used up the one night with the rain delay, or the lightning delay is what it was in Fort McMurray. High and away with a changeup, 2-2. Augie Groman, who had a tremendous start in his first start with the Berries, second appearance, went 3 1/3 innings but couldn't continue because of the lengthy delay for lightning. And as a result, the bullpen got used up a little bit more than what was anticipated. And by the time yesterday rolled around, they were running out of arms. Eric Aguirre had to pitch some last night. Swing and a miss. Morrison, he just waved at that one. He was totally fooled on that pitch. That's the 4th strikeout for Rood in this appearance in 3 2/3 innings. 2 away now. It'll bring up the third baseman Nick Hill, who grounded out to short against Rood to lead off the 7th inning. The only blemish against Dallin Rood was a solo home run by the guy on deck, Frankie Giacalone, back in the 7th inning. Otherwise, Rood has been perfect, retiring everybody else. Called strike, 1-1 the count on Nick Hill. We're in the top of the 9th inning. 1-1 pitch, hit on the ground towards third. Rell bobbles, can't come up with it now, throws on over, and still got him in time. Hill doesn't run that well, obviously. Rell bobbled, but was able to recover and throw him out. And a 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning for Dallin Rood and the Saskatoon Berries against the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Heading to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Berries. Trailing 6-2 at home to the Medicine Hat Mavericks. You're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. All right, last chance hotel here for the Saskatoon Berries, trailing by 4 in the bottom of the 9th inning, 6-2 to the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Miguel De Jesus back out to pitch for the Mavericks, third pitcher of the night for Ryan Reed and his visiting Mavericks, who are on the road all this week pretty much. They'll go to Regina after they're done here. First pitch inside to Gavin Panks, who's 0 for 3 with a hit batsman. Hit by a pitch back in the 7th inning. On the ground and just wide of the bag at first base, foul. Yes, I was pointing out, my beautiful wife, the producer, Verna, was pointing out the moon just now to me. I already pointed it out last inning. Out there in right field, beyond foul territory, way off in the distance. 1-1 pitch, change up is a called strike. 1-2. Fans don't like that call. Mason Rell and Josh Henson scheduled to hit here in the bottom of the 9th. DeJesus 1-2 pitch. Tried another changeup. That one's high and away. 2-2. Check swing, and they're going to call him out. Home plate umpire Bobby Mark rings him up. Strikeout number 1 for DeJesus, first out of the bottom of the 9th inning. Mason Rell coming to the plate. 1 for 3, singled and a walk tonight. There is action down the left field line in the Medicine Hat bullpen in case things get dicey for the Mavericks with this 4-run lead. But the Berries have only 2 outs to work with now. Rell, first pitch swinging high in the air. Right field, but not deep. In fact, coming on to make the catch is the right fielder Evan Morrison for the second out. And so now the Berries are down to their last chance. It'll be Josh Henson, who's 0 for 4. Scored one of the 2 Berries runs after reaching on an error back in the 4th inning. He's hit 3 decently long fly balls, including one the last time up. That was caught on the warning track to the left of straightaway center field. DeJesus, first pitch breaking ball low and away, ball 1. Still a nice night out. 25 degrees, partly cloudy skies. The east-southeast wind has abated some, now 21 kilometers per hour. Breaking ball in for a strike, 1-1. Nathan Houston is on deck, hoping to get an at-bat here for the Berries in the bottom of the 9th. Keep things rolling if possible. 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. Two-on pitch, and he held up his swing and takes ball 3. 3-1 the count on Josh Henson. Three-one is up and in, ball 4. So not gone yet. Still breathing. Nathan Houston coming up. Shortstop Johnny Volcano comes to the edge of the infield grass and shouting words of encouragement to Miguel DeJesus. Hey, no problem. Throw strikes. We've got you defensively. And they have, although there have been a couple of errors committed by Medicine Hat tonight. But still, for the most part, they have been able to run anything down in the outfield. Breaking ball in for a strike to Nathan Houston. Bounced in, blocked by Nate King, the catcher, 1-1. Aiden Kilshaw, the catcher, is on deck. One count on Nathan Houston. Fouled off to the screen. 1-2. Down to the last strike for the Berries. Here in the bottom of the ninth. DeJesus with a 1-2 pitch upcoming to Nathan Houston. Low and away with a breaking pitch, 2-2. Again, these teams will play tomorrow night at 7 o'clock right back here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. Game 2 of a 3-game series. This the makeup of a rainout. Houston pops this one up high in the air in the infield on the right side. First baseman Giacalone makes the catch, and that is the ball game. The Medicine Hat Mavericks, sitting outside of a playoff spot coming into tonight, are going to help themselves out. No runs, no hits for the Berries in the bottom of the ninth inning. No Medicine Hat errors. One runner left on base. We'll come back with the final totals in a moment. But your final here tonight, the Medicine Hat Mavericks defeat the Saskatoon Berries by a score of 6-2. As you're watching Berries baseball on FloCollege. Back to wrap things up from Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field on a Monday evening. The Medicine Hat Mavericks come in and get a very important victory for them in their hopes of catching a playoff spot in the Western Canadian Baseball League's West Division, beating the Saskatoon Berries tonight by a final score of 6-2. Your final unofficial totals for Medicine Hat: 6 runs on 13 hits. They committed 2 errors. They left 6 runners on base. For the Berries, 2 runs on 7 hits. They committed 1 error. They left 13 runners on base. The winning pitcher is Jackson Miles, the Medicine Hat starter. He improves to 2-1. The losing pitcher was the Berries starting pitcher, Diego Quinones. His record is now 4-2. The game took 2 hours and 36 minutes to play in front of 2,047 fans at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. For the Mavericks, it's their 20th win of the season against 28 losses, their second straight win. They're now 11-10 on the road, so they're not that good at home at Athletic Park. It's their first win of the season against the Berries. Now 1-5 head-to-head against the Berries this year. Berries dropped to 33-14, 2 losses in a row for them on back-to-back days. 17-7, the record here at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. And as I mentioned, 5-1 now against the Medicine Hat Mavericks head-to-head. The Mavericks are a -24, runs for and against on the year. The Berries are a +157, but that did not help them tonight in a loss to the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Taking a peek out of town quickly in the Western Canadian Baseball League as we're into the stretch run, the final 10 games of the season or so for everybody. Lethbridge with an 11-3 lead on Brooks in the bottom of the 8th inning. Then Moose Jaw is on the verge of moving a game ahead of the Berries into first place in the West Division as they have an 8-2 lead in Weyburn over the Weyburn Beavers. Regina and Energy City Don't know if that game happened or not. There's no indication on the out-of-town scoreboard that they have played that game or not. But your final here tonight, it was definitely played at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field. The Medicine Hat Mavericks defeating the Saskatoon Berries by a final score of 6-2. We're back here again tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, same two teams playing at Next Gen Patch at Cairns Field, the Berries and the Mavericks. Until tomorrow night, on behalf of all the folks at Flow Sports, FloCollege, all the gang here at the Saskatoon Entertainment Group, my wife Verna is the producer of what we do here for you folks. And on behalf of all those folks, I'm Les Lansrick. Have a great rest of your Monday evening, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow as you've been watching Berries Baseball on FloCollege.
Honestly, I don't remember. I got it. Yeah? Okay, I'll watch you again. Sorry. Oh, you're good.
You realize a month tomorrow is Blake's training camp?
Why are you doing that to me?